Hi everyone, it is Jessica and I am so excited to be part of today's celebratory hop. We are celebrating Erin Jacobson from the Crafty Concepts with Erin YouTube channel as she has recently hit 10,000 subscribers. Now to celebrate her awesome achievement, we are going to scrap lift one of her layouts. I knew immediately which one I wanted to do, and so I went to her Pinterest to find this picture. It is one that she did where she layered a bunch of pieces of paper and did some paper tearing, and I just really loved it. Now she had 2 photos in hers, but I am going to use 3 in mine. So I've already gone ahead and pulled my pattern papers that I'm going to use to scrap lift this. The back side is equally as gorgeous, but I'm going to use the front side here on these papers from the Close to My Heart Flower Shop collection. Before I begin tearing, I'm going to cut my papers down. This one here, this fun green pattern, I'm going to cut to a 9 by 12 piece. And then the other 2, I'm just going to cut some 2-inch by 12-inch strips. And then I will go through and tear each of them so that I can layer them together. I really love these papers. I think that they are so pretty and I'm so excited to use them on this layout. Now on my paper tearing, I want to see that white core. So just as a little tip for you, if ever you are doing some paper tearing and you want to see the core, pull that tear towards you. And if you don't want to see the core, push your tear away from you. And so that's just a little trick. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it towards me, and I'm just really kind of ripping in an uneven line. I'm not trying to keep anything straight. I'm letting it look really organic. And then I'm going to layer those 2 smaller strips underneath that bigger green piece like so. So I'm kind of playing with my photos a little bit here just to see how I might want to put them. My thought is that my middle picture would go on straight and the other 2 would be a little bit diagonal. Before I get into adhering anything down though, on Erin's original layout that I am scrap lifting, she did have some fun splatters. Now she did it as a final touch, but I'm going to go ahead and put them on now since that's kind of the benefit of scrap lifting is you already know all the things that go on the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and use my sapphire shimmer brush to add a little bit of splatters first. And then I'll set that aside to dry. And in the meantime, I am going to mat my photos on pieces of sapphire cardstock. Now, one thing that Erin loves to do is to edge distress her papers, and she usually uses a foam blending tool to do that. So I am channeling my inner Erin and doing that as well. Normally when I edge distress, I just swipe my ink pad across the edge of the paper, but I do love this look because it goes on much softer. All right, so I've got all that part done, and now I am ready to start adhering those fun torn layers together. So I just kind of laid things out first to see, okay, about how far down does that bottom piece need to go, because, the bottom one's going to have to be on first so I can stack the other 2 over it. And then using my Versamat and a T-square ruler, I just lined everything up. And that way, as I start putting these down, I know that each layer is going to be able to be covered by that green piece on the very top. So it's really very simple to do that way. I'm just lining up that top part, making sure that I can see some of the torn edges from the piece below, and then finally putting that green one over the top. Before I get to that green piece though, what I decided to do was just to take my fingers and pull against that torn edge to create just a little bit more dimension. And I really love not only the dimension that it adds, but you can see little pops of color from the patterned side on the back side when I do that. So a little bit of that capri kind of peeks out, and I just really love how that adds like that little extra touch. So now we'll get that green one adhered down, and I did the same thing to that green piece by ruffling the edges. So again, I kind of play around with my photos a little bit. I did want the photo of my son to the left just because of the direction that he is facing in the picture. And then I came back to that Pinterest post to kind of look at my inspiration, and I thought, okay, you know what, I need to get a couple of die cut pieces here. So one of the things that Erin used on her layout was one of the frames from the stitched rectangle die cuts, thin cuts. And I have that set as well, and when I used the white piece, it just didn't stand out enough, so I went ahead and cut it out of capri cardstock. And then she also tucked in a little circle in that rectangle area, and And so I had this one in honey butter, which is the color yellow that is in one of my pattern papers. But I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, so I kind of tested another piece of pattern paper, but I decided to go with the honey butter. All right, so I'm going to turn my attention to the title, and I do happen to have the same alphabet thin cuts that she used, so I'm trying to remain true where I can to the inspiration layout. So to get ready for that, I've just cut myself a little bit of Capri cardstock, and then I'm gluing 2 layers together. And then I'm going to use my uppercase simple serif alphabet here. And what I'm going to do is cut out the letters to spell Whippy Dip. That's the name of the ice cream store where we are. It's kind of a family tradition to go there. It's out in the middle of the country, and it really is like literally in the middle of nowhere, but it's a family favorite. And everyone in my family, my cousins, my grandparents, my parents, always have to make a special trip to the Whippy Dip in the summer. It's just kind of a tradition. And so that's what this page is going to be about, is kind of documenting that fun family tradition. So I went through and cut that actually twice so that when I glued all of those together, I have 4 letters stacked together to really give it some nice dimension on the page. Now, in order to create a couple of other embellishments, I did go through my stash and look for anything that had ice cream on it. And I found this old stamp of the month from several years ago. And I stamped those in intense black ink so that I could do some coloring with my tri-blend markers. I will leave what marker colors I used in the description box down below. And then I'm going to fussy cut those out because they didn't have any coordinating dies with them. I love these ice cream cones. They are so cute. And this little dog with his ice cream cone, oh, so fun. I did spend quite a bit of time coloring that cute little ice cream bus, but I don't end up using it. Now I did get a couple of other embellishments from the Flower Shop embellishments that go along with this paper pack. And I pulled out this one that says True Bliss because you know what? We're eating ice cream and that is true bliss as far as we are concerned. And I'm pulling out the letters from it so that I can use the word bliss on another project. I backed it on a white circle, and then I'm just going to go around and kind of place some of these things. I'm looking again at that inspiration layout and where Erin had placed some of her embellishments, and I'm trying to imitate that as well. She definitely had a couple pieces tucked up in that top stitched rectangle frame. She had some over to the right and to the left. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and put my photos down. I thought I had finally gotten to a point where I could attach those to the page and it was safe to do so. And then I'm going to put this cute little dog with his ice cream cone over to the right side. And then on the left-hand side, she had not only some embellishments, but she did have a circle element over to the left-hand side. So that's why I thought, oh, I'll put this True Bliss over here with this ice cream cone. And then because that True Bliss is on some wood grain chipboard, I thought, oh, I'm going to pull that same wood grain up to the top cluster and maybe use some hearts from that same embellishment pack. Then what I did is I grabbed my clear shimmer brush and I went over the dog's cute little vanilla ice cream cone just to give it a little bit of sparkle. I added a little bit of sparkle to the pink strawberry ice cream cones as well because why not have some sparkly ice cream? And then I turned to the sticker sheet to see what else can I pull in here to use. So she did have a couple of stamped sentiments kind of around in those clusters, but I didn't really have anything I wanted to stamp, so that's why I thought, oh, I'll use the sticker instead. And immediately when I pulled that one off, I really liked how it drew that pink color down to the bottom and created that visual triangle. That is definitely something that I have learned from watching Erin's videos, and I feel like it has made me a better scrapbooker. And so if you are not already a fan, which I'm sure you are, of her channel, then really you need to go check her out. She is a wonderful teacher, and I have learned so much from watching her scrapbook. All right, after a while, that True Bliss just really, it wasn't working for me, and I was very sad about it because it was a cute little embellishment. So I cut a circle in that same honey butter color, and I tried to save it and pull it off, but it was glued down pretty well. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and sacrifice that True Bliss embellishment and put my circle over top. And then I'm much happier now because I do have honey butter up in the top corner, and I felt like it just needed it to be in a few other places around the page as well. So same thing, I needed some more capri color to kind of round out that visual triangle. So I used a die cut heart to put in the middle of that, and then I'm much happier with that. Okay, later off camera, I will add some journaling to the bottom underneath my title as Erin did, but otherwise this layout is done. It was really a lot of fun to copy the one that she had, to scrap lift it. It's one of my favorites that she's ever done. And like I said, I have learned so much from watching her over the years. It really has been my pleasure and an honor for me to be able to participate in this hop as we celebrate her amazing achievement of 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by to watch today. Make sure that you check out everybody else who is honoring Erin. I will leave all of those links in the description box down below. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye.